Regardless of our politics, this is about protecting our freedom to go to a bowling alley, a restaurant, a school, a church, without being shot and killed.
That was President Joe Biden moments ago in Lewiston, Maine, as he meets with the families of the victims of last week's deadly mass shooting. Joining me right now is NBC's Alice Barr in Washington tonight with more on the president's visit. Alice, thanks so much for being here. A very tough story to cover each and every single time this happens. And I want to talk about repetition tonight. Another community in mourning after last week's mass shooting. The president speaking once again to parents, children, family, and friends who have lost loved ones. He's repeatedly called for a ban on assault weapons. That ban isn't likely to pass in Congress. So what else is he calling on for today to put an end to these mass shootings?
Faith, you're absolutely right. And in fact, I was up in Lewiston, Maine last week while the search was ongoing, speaking to families and survivors there. And it's just brutal, you know, that we keep going through this. And you heard that from President Biden today. He said that he too often has gone to communities around this country. He's had to take on the role of consoler in chief for the families and the survivors. So he is calling for an assault weapons ban, as he has many times. He's also talking about maybe more incremental steps, things like strengthening red flag laws in states. In Maine, there was a yellow flag law, which is supposed to help separate people from their weapons when they're in a state of mental distress, specifically if they've been involuntarily committed for mental health treatment. And we heard a lot of questions in the aftermath of the shooting up there about whether Robert Card should have triggered that law and had his weapons taken away. So now there's talk of, if that's not enough, how do you harden some of these laws in states around the country? Also talking about things like banning high-capacity magazines and enacting universal background checks and safe storage of guns. These are all, frankly, an uphill climb, things that we've heard discussion about more than once, but something that the President Biden renewed calls for again today.
This has become somewhat of a routine visit for the president, like we've discussed. I mean, we're talking Buffalo, New York, Uvalde, Texas, Monterey Park, California, roughly all happening within the year. The Associated Press reporting 37 mass shootings. This is defined where 4 more people were killed by a shooter in a 24-hour period this year alone. So quickly here, has there been any heightened push for something to be done in Congress where you are now?
I think there always is, certainly in the wake of one of these tragedies. The situation we're in, though, I'm over here on the Senate side right now, and there may be support here on the Senate side. There are certainly a number of Democratic senators who speak very passionately on this issue. Chris Murphy of Connecticut, where Sandy Hook took place. The problem, though, is that there's a Republican-controlled House, and it's just literally impossible to see how you're going to see major movement right now on gun control measures when you have divided government like that. Faith.
Alice Barr in Washington, thank you so much.